Meanwhile, Mr. Bee came skipping across the road, opened the gate, walked across the barnyard, poured some corn in the trough for Sadie and the piglets, and tossed a flake of hay in the corner for Gracie and Lily. When he turned to go, he was met by a cacophony of bleating and snorting and squiggling. "They're gone! They're on an adventure!" All Mr. Bee heard was noise. "You're mighty rambunctious this morning. Must be the cold weather." He patted Gracie on the head, went out the gate, and was gone. Sadie spun and glared at Gracie and the piglets. "How do you expect him to know what we're saying if we all shout at once? Tomorrow, I'll tell him they're gone, and everyone else will be silent." The next day, Mr. Bee came skipping across the lawn, opened the gate, walked across the barnyard, poured some corn in the trough for Sadie and the piglets, and when he turned to go, Sadie cleared her voice. But before she knew it, he was out the gate and gone. Well, she turned and glared right at Gracie. "You could have done something to get his attention." Well, Gracie knew better than to argue with Sadie. She just walked away. She missed her friends, but what could she do? Gracie smiled. She had a plan. Well, the next day, Mr. Bee came skipping across the lawn, opened the gate, crossed the barnyard, poured some corn into the trough for Sadie and the piglets, and before he knew it, coming running around behind the barn with her head lowered, Gracie came running and smacked him square in the seat of the pants, sending him flying to the ground. Well, he turned to face Gracie. "What's this all about?" That's when he noticed the flakes of uneaten hay in the corner. "Don't you feel well, Gracie? You haven't been eating your hay." Then he thought, well, there's Lily. And he looked behind the barn. No Lily there. He ran up to the pasture, looked where the horses and donkey were. Lily wasn't there either. He went back and looked inside the barn. Lily was nowhere to be found. He decided, I'm going to get the truck and go look for Lily. When he got to the gate, oh my truck is gone as well. He went off. This is a case for the police. He went off to call. Sadie, in the meantime, looked right at Gracie. Well, you certainly did get his attention. And Gracie even thought she saw Sadie smile. Well, the police came out, asked some questions, took some notes, looked for evidence. Well, Mr. B, we're not coming up with much. Looks to me like someone's playing a practical joke. Yeah, like someone's playing a prank on you. Do you know anyone who played a prank on you? Mr. B thought for a moment. Well, no, not really. Well, we'll file a report and we'll look out for your truck in that llama. Well, Mr. B thanked him for coming. I appreciate it, but for the record, Lily's an alpaca. The police left, and Mr. B thought out loud, if this is a joke, it's not funny. Sadie and the piglets and Gracie all shouted at once, it's no joke! They're on an adventure! Well, while all this was going on, we left with Jacques and Lily heading into the great unknown. And their adventure began. Ooh. Jacques was very surprised when he saw all the traffic on the main roads. It was very busy, So he decided he'd rather explore the lesser-known dirt roads that went to who knows where. So on the first day they traveled, he found a beautiful meadow with a lovely stream. Lily got out and ran through the tall grass, only to stop to get a cool drink. On the next day, they wound through the dirt roads until he found an orchard. Lily got out, reached up, and picked an apple. Oh, Gracie would love this. The third day, they traveled way up to the top of a mountain. From there, Lily could see for miles and miles and miles in any direction. She peered out, and what did she see? Jacques, I think I see our barn, and the pasture behind it. Jacques looked out. I think I can see Gracie and Sadie and the piglets too. He stepped back, and everything was quiet. Lily was the first to speak. Jacques, how long is an adventure? Well, Lily, mon Sally, the beauty of an adventure is it lasts as long as you want. He looked at his friend. She wasn't giving him the reaction she was hoping for. Then he thought again, maybe it's time to head home. So, I announce this adventure has come to an end. Oh, Jacques, can we really head back now? Yes. And John said, please, calm it down. So, now, our friends head back down the mountain. The second day, Lily got out. She plucked an apple for her friend Gracie. By the time they reached the meadow with the stream, the moon was rising and it was dark. Lily yawned and closed her eyes. But John continued driving into the night. It was late when they pulled into the barnyard. He pulled down the path, around the tree, and parked right next to the barn. It was very quiet. Lily got out, stepped into the moonlight. Lily, John called, Gracie's apple. She reached back in and got the apple for Gracie. She tiptoed across the barnyard. She went into the barn, put the apple next to her sleeping friend. She found a place on the straw for herself and laid down, and pretty soon was fast asleep. The next day, Mr. B came skipping across the lawn and stopped. Lo and behold, there was his truck, parked right under the tree where it should have been yesterday and the day before. He walked around. That's when he noticed the beret on the side of the cab and the black mustache in the front of the grill. Mr. B thought. Maybe someone was playing a practical joke. He opened the gate, he crossed the barnyard, and there was Lily, standing next to Gracie, who was munching on an apple. Well, everyone, this seems like it's back to normal. Who would play a joke like this on me? Well, this time, everyone was silent. Sadie looked at the piglets. The piglets looked at Gracie. Gracie looked at Lily. And Lily looked at John, who just smiled and was glad that he was